Well, well, well. We start a new week of the Fantasy NBA today. And after the explosion of last week, which included fireworks, we get the Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A, back, a.k.a. my homie, my brother from another mother. Bro, how are you?
I'm good. A great vacation. I checked out. Basically, all I really know is what I saw in headlines from Shams on my phone while I was at the beach. Did a lot of driving, did a lot of eating, maybe drank some beer. But I'm back. I'm back home. 4th of July vacation's over, baby. It's time to get back to work.
Did you work on your tan? I thought that was a little bit of a responsibility you set out for yourself. Did you?
Well,
did you
we had an unfortunate
pull the shirt off and show the ladies the sexiness and work on your tan a little bit?
We had an unfortunate event on July 4th when I took my shoes and socks off and sat and dangled my feet in the pool for 3 hours. Those feet have not seen sun rays for 25 years, dude. My feet have never been as gnarly and sunburnt as they are right now. I can't even put shoes on. I couldn't walk yesterday.
Your feet. I got a little torched over the weekend down here in Florida. A lot of outside and stuff like that. But yeah, you torched your feet. Okay. Are you a slather up the sunscreen guy?
No.
Yeah, good.
I'm all
good.
natural, but it's usually I have a good golf tan, and I always keep that going. I never take the shirt off, never take the shoes off. Basically, just straight up golf tan. And I took the shoes off, on the 4th, and that was a huge disaster. I'll never do that again.
Well, we got you back, Doc, and we're super stoked about that. And it is Rick Kamla, it is Steve Alexander, and we have our amazing sponsor along for the ride with us as well, betonline.com. Check them out. BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season's in full swing. Football season's right around the corner. I mean, dude, we're like 2 weeks from training camp. Let's go, right? All right, so you got football stuff. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting. From MLB to UFC to tennis, NFL futures, BetOnline remains your source for sports wagering info. And in between games, go over to the BetOnline casino if you would like. They've got the top Vegas-style games, including poker and a live casino. Head to the website today, betonline.com. Take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program, level-up bonuses, and weekly cash boosts. BetOnline, the game starts here. And a little note to all of you watching us on Twitter or X. We love you. Thank you. Just a little heads up. Not every offseason episode is going to be available on this platform. Make sure you subscribe to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed to catch every episode and stay in the loop. Super easy. Go ahead and do it. Do it now while you're listening to us. Doc, we bring you back with very, very, very splashy breaking news. Okay. We just got a trade. It went down 20, 25 minutes ago. Shams Charania, Clippers, Jazz, and Heat have agreed to a trade that sends Norman Powell to the Miami Heat, John Collins to the LA Clippers. Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson have been banished to Utah, where they will probably be soon bought out. 2027 Clippers second round pick going to the Jazz as well. So essentially, the Utah Jazz are salary dumping John Collins, and there's so many ripple effects to this trade. But to condense it, Miami gets Norman Powell, Clippers get John Collins, Utah gets Love, Anderson, and a second. Doc, I want to start with the winners here. To me, John Collins, let's take these one by one. And I want to tee you up quickly here. Do you believe that John Collins is a winner going to the Los Angeles Clippers? Their starting five is going to be Zubats, Collins, Kawhi, Chris Dunn, and James Harden.
Well, first of all, is it breaking news that Kevin Love is still in the NBA? Because I kind of forgot that.
It is. He may retire. He's like, you traded me to Utah, I'm out. He may just dip out and retire
now. I think Collins. Is he a winner going to Miami? Maybe. I don't think he's a loser. As long as he starts, as long as Derrick Jones Jr. Did I say Miami? He went to the Clippers. As long as they start Kawhi Leonard at the 3 and John Collins at the 4, I think Collins makes them better, makes them legit. I mean, this could be a total resurgence for John Collins, actually, like playing on a team where wins and losses actually matter. So I do think it bodes well for John Collins. I just hope that a guy like Derek Jones Jr. Or Bogey Bogdanovich doesn't mess it up, but it shouldn't. I mean, this is a perfect opportunity for Collins. You are muted.
I'm so happy for John Collins, dude. He escaped. Dude, Doc, let's go to Basketball Monster real quick because it's just easy and the rankings are right here at the tip of my finger. John Collins, where was he? 30th, 35th, 40th. Where's JC? 44th. And it's weird. They include like the playoffs and the regular season combined. I don't know why the hell Basketball Monster does that. It's dumb. I don't like it. But this just gives you an idea where a guy was, and the stats are right there. It's well laid out. But Collins last year, Doc, 40 games, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 1.5 threes. My favorite players in the NBA. 53% from the field, 85% from the line. This guy's a freaking like low-key, underrated, under the radar all-star. These numbers are awesome, dude. They're awesome. He does everything. So he's going to be activated now. John Collins is like one of my favorite players going into next year. I can't wait to grab all the shares of John Collins I can. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like there's going to be buzz and hype about John Collins going to the Clippers? Or do you think that the fantasy world has been anesthetized by how Atlanta treated him and how Utah treated him? Will there be buzz about this guy, or can he legitimately be a sleeper?
I mean, I think he's been in the league long enough, and his prime in most people's eyes has passed. So I think he's going to be a sleeper. I don't think people are going to be, climbing over fences to get to John Collins. Like if you get him at the right time, I think he's going to be fun. No, I think of course it depends on what, us and all the other fantasy sites say about him. But I just can't see there being a huge buzz market for John Collins. And maybe there should be. But that's good for us if we want to draft him.
Good answer. That's the answer I was looking for. We'll soon find out if it's true. But that's why I asked. I feel like the fantasy world's going to be kind of like, yeah, John Collins is with the Clippers. So what? How people just develop opinions on people and stuff. I've always been a fan. It's just been the lack of playing time in the direction of Utah. So he basically gave you 4th round value last year. And like, if I can get Collins in round 5 or round 6, and by the way, the top 50s that we did, Doc, you can go ahead and shred those. There have been so many moves, right? With Dame and like we just got to just throw it away and start from scratch now. But it was fun for a minute, right? Before free agency and the draft started. Okay. So we both view John Collins as winners. I could not be more stoked to draft him. And by the way, he's an availability guy. John Collins is not an injured guy. John Collins is being shut down by teams. All right, Norman Powell. This is going to be a debate, I believe. Doc, I want to sell you first on why I believe Norman Powell's a winner here. Norman Powell now has to share with Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. That's it. In LA, he had to share with Kawhi, James Harden, and Zubac. He had to share with 3 guys. In Miami, he's got to share with 2 guys. He had a chance to become the 4th option with LA. He's at least the 3rd option in Miami. And we remember what Andrew Wiggins did as their 3rd option. He had a lot of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, hovered around 20 a game. I would not be surprised, Doc, if Norman Powell, and this is actually the expectation, I bet you Norman Powell averages more points a game than Bam Adebayo next year. I bet you Norm's at 20.5, 21.1, and I bet you Bam's at 19.9, 20.2, something like that. It's going to be close, but Norman Powell is a winner here. He's got less competition for shots and points and goodies, and I think he's going to outscore Bam Adebayo next year.
Yeah, and he also doesn't have to compete with Kawhi Leonard. Like, I really feel like Kawhi and Powell were sort of stepping on each other's toes the second half of last season. So the fresh start for Norman Powell, He's probably excited about it. Lots of shooting, man. I mean, Hero can shoot a three, Powell can shoot a three, Wiggins can shoot a three. So it'll be interesting. But I mean, I think Norman Powell should keep being the scorer that we saw the first half of last season. Like he should come out and be firing at will on this team. And I feel like Powell is a little bit better player than Wiggins is at this stage of the game. So it'll be interesting to see that battle and if it comes to light.
I agree with that. Wiggins, a better two-way player, but in terms of your take, I agree. Okay, so you're more excited about drafting Norman Powell, bottom line, now after this trade than you were an hour ago. You're more excited about drafting Norman Powell.
I would say yes.
Me too. Let's stay with the winners here for a second. Let's go to Utah, Doc. And this is a weird setup. I don't know who the winner is yet. Let's figure this out. Okay. John Collins is traded from Utah. It leaves a vacancy in their starting five. All right. So for me, Doc, Isaiah Collier started last year. I don't see that changing. I believe Ace Bailey is going to start for them. I think Keontae George will back up one. Walter Clayton will back up two. I think your three will be Markkanen or not, or he could go up to the four. So that's optional there. And Kessler, barring a trade, will start at the five. So there's an open forward spot. It could be filled by an SF or a PF. And you've got, to me, four options, really three, but I'll throw another dude in because he was a lottery pick. Our options here, Doc, are Kyle Filipowski. Can he play the four with Markkanen at the three? And you go with a jumbo lineup. I kind of like that. Okay. Taylor Hendricks, or Tyler Hendricks. Why am I blanking on his first name? I got T. Hendricks here.
Taylor.
Yeah, it's Taylor. And he was drafted, played 3 games last year, blew a tire, missed the whole year. And so he's a possibility here. He was a top 10 pick. And then you have Bryce Sensabaugh, another first-round pick who's had some moments and had a good summer league game. And so, like, he's kind of in that mix as well. They got an open forward spot, Doc. Could be SF or PF. Filipowski, Hendricks, Sensabaugh. And the dark horse, I guess, would be Cody Williams, the younger brother of J-Dub, who also was a lottery pick, who has not shown a lot in little flashes that he has gotten. But what do you think about all that?
And what about Ace Bailey? Does he even come into the conversation?
I thought I mentioned him, but maybe I forgot to get Ace Bailey. To me, starts for Utah. I think he's going to.
Oh, you probably did mention.
I think Collier and Ace Bailey, I think, are going to be your starting backcourt. That's not in cement, but that's how I view it. But so do you see them all of a sudden starting Keontae George next to Isaiah Collier, Doc? I don't see that.
No, I feel like Ace Bailey's going to start there. And it's kind of weird. They have Isaiah Collier and Keontae George, and it's probably not good news for Keontae George at this point. But as far as the power forward slot, I would like to see Kyle Filipowski starting there. Man, I love Filipowski last year. He's fun. He's quietly he's just good. He's flies under the radar, and he's a good player. He'd shoot threes. Taylor Hendricks is also super intriguing, but we still haven't seen him. We know what Filipowski can do. I hope it's Filipowski.
Bro, Utah has something in Filipowski. To me, you traded John Collins for a reason. You freed up, first of all, expiring contract. He opted in. They didn't want him to opt in. So we understand all that, but okay, he's on your roster. But they gave him away, just like Atlanta did. And LAC is like, thank you. But dude, he was a rock star when fully unleashed at the end of last year. And that was his rookie year, bro. Now he's going to have a whole off season. So Filipowski, okay, we agree. I'm going to move Filipowski, Doc, into because he's a 4/5. Filipowski can step out and make threes. Doc, Frank, dude, again, Utah, try to win. Dude, you got all these young players. Why can't you be Houston? Why can't you be OKC? Why can't you be Minnesota? Why can't you do this? Doc, think about this team. Your starting five is Kessler, Filipowski, Markkanen, Ace Bailey, Isaiah Collier. All right, that does actually kind of suck. Your second unit is Yusuf Nurkic, Taylor Hendricks, Bryce Sensabaugh, Walter Clayton Jr., and Keontae George. Okay, forget everything I'm saying. This team completely sucks. This team completely sucks. So let's get back to fantasy here. Like, do you see upside with this team? Like, you might trade Markkanen. Now you really should just go ahead and tank, dude. I'm looking at that team like, ew. That's the worst team in the West, bro. That right there, that's the worst team in the West.
Next year it probably is, but once Bailey gets in and figures it out, I mean, there's potential there. They got to get Markkanen out of there. I can't believe he's still there.
Here's the thing, though, dude. Utah's not drafting well. They're not. Taylor Hendricks hasn't worked out. Filipowski's working out. Kessler's working out. That was a trade, though, but I'll give it to him in a draft scenario. Isaiah Collier, okay. Keontae George, not really working out. Bryce Sensabaugh, probably not working out like they thought. Cody Williams looks like he was overdrafted. So it's very, very hit and miss, man. Like, you got to hit your picks when you get them. And Danny Ainge is one of the G's of shot calling, but this ain't it. All right, dude. So we agree that Filipowski is the winner here in Utah. Let's go to the losers of this trade, Doc. And let's go back to Miami. I believe Davion Mitchell is a loser here, going from the starting five to the bench now. Because Khalil Ware, Bam Adebayo, Andrew Wiggins, Norman Powell, and Tyler Hero, that's going to be your starting five. And frankly, like you said, dude, that's a lot of shooting, a lot of scoring. They've got a couple of defensive studs in there, actually 3 with Ware and Adebayo and Wiggins. Miami's kind of interesting, bro. But Davion Mitchell here is a loser. Pell Larson, Jaquez, Highsmith, like any bench player on Miami is now capped. The rookie, Yaku Chonis, is a loser here because of the addition of Powell. Do you agree?
Yes. I don't like this for Davion Mitchell. I was fired up about Davion coming in. I'm still riding the Davion wave from the end of last season. And it looks like he has no shot at starting now. And whereas I think before I kind of feel like it was going to be Davion at the 1 and Tyler Hero at the 2, but that's no longer necessary. So I think it is a hit for Davion Mitchell. I'm just hopeful that he gets enough minutes to still make an impact this year.
Can he get 30 minutes off the game with that starting 5, Doc? Probably 25 I would give him. But if Davion Mitchell's playing 25 minutes a game, he's a waiver wire guy. Like, we like him, but he's got to get the minutes. He's got to be put up to bat. If he's getting 30 minutes, he'll be a end of your roster guy. And if he's getting 25 minutes, he'll be a waiver wire guy. Okay, Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, Doc, are losers here for me. I'm going to have to drop Hero. Dude, he was 25, 5-5 last year, Doc. That ain't happening again, bro, with Powell, Wig. Khalil Ware's going to probably average 15 points, right? Bam's going to hover around 20 a game. So I look at Bam, and Bam might actually go down to 17, 18 with all this scoring. So I look at Hero and Bam in a different way, and the arrow's kind of pointing down a little bit. Do you agree with that?
Kind of. I don't think Khalil Ware is going to average 15 points. 10 seems more realistic to me, but maybe 12.
I hear you.
Like, if Hero takes a hit, it's not going to be a huge. It's not going to be a huge hit, I don't think. I mean, I think the Heat still look at Tyler Hero as the offensive leader of this team, even though Powell may give him a run for his money. They still look at, Hero's going to be controlling the offense, controlling the ball. If his numbers come down, and they might, I don't think it's going to be drastic enough that you have to I'm knocking him down my list. I think you're still basically taking Tyler Hero where you would have taken him before. Bam, Khalil Ware's going up. Norman Powell is there. I think Bam takes more of an offensive hit than Hero does. So I think you're on the right path. They both are probably technically losers here. I'm more concerned about Bam than I am Tyler Hero.
Great take. Are you kind of low key looking at Miami like you might be kind of interesting in the East this year?
Very much so, man. I mean, when I
Me
was on the
too.
radio 2 weeks ago and they hit me out of the blue with who's going to win the East, and I started looking at it, and I went with Orlando. And I mean, that's how bad the East is right now, dude. And so now you've got Tyler Hero, Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, and Khalil Ware. I love Davion off the bench. Haywood Highsmith can play. Nikola Jovic is one of my favorite non-valuable fantasy guys there. Like, I love Jovic, and he doesn't do anything. I'm not drafting him, but there's a lot of talent on this team. And Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley, and everybody's pissed off about how the last time they walked off the court together in such an embarrassing fashion. I would not put it past the Heat to come out and win the East this year.
That's way more than I want to. That's way too big a sandwich for me to take a bite out of. Like, I'm just saying they're interesting. Like, top 6, like, might win a playoff series. Like, you're taking it all the way to June. No, I don't.
Dude, every other team in the East. I haven't looked at all the fallout from free agency and trades, but there's,
to me, the Knicks are a lock to win the East.
Really,
it's a lock. Lock it up. Lock it up with a key. Spin the little code wheel and just, it's good. It's locked up. But it's a vault. Now, I realize in saying that I just jinxed it, and now it'll never happen. But I look at them as head and shoulders above the rest. Orlando, Cleveland would be in that next group. Atlanta's intriguing. Miami's intriguing. There's some other Detroit's intriguing. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm relatively high on Miami, but not like Doc. Ooh, we just got a really bold Miami opinion out of Doc. All right, let's move on here, Doc, because there's a lot of other moves. We are the Fantasy NBA today. It is Rick Kamla. It is Steve Alexander, the Hall of Famer. He is back. We're breaking down free agency, and the NBA never sleeps. There's never a dull moment. Just when you think free agency's dipping a little bit, bam, we get a gigantic trade. This is a blockbuster. We move on. It's a tough segue. We move on to the Bucks re-signing Ryan Rollins to a 3-year, $12 million deal. But, Doc, this is extremely fantasy relevant because Kevin Porter Jr. was signed by Milwaukee. Let me take you in chronological order here. 2 years, $11 million. Immediately, in the Wayne's World vernacular, swing, okay? Like, Kevin Porter Jr. is back. The position's all to himself. Oh, my God. All right. And then you make the trade for Vasi Micic. Andre quickly tells me probably going to be bought out and play it. I don't damn know, Olympiacos or something like that, right? I don't know what's going on there, but it doesn't seem like Micic is in the plan for Milwaukee. Okay, cool. Kevin Porter Jr. still the guy there. Boom. Now Ryan Rollins is re-signed, Doc. And it's $1 more million, although less money per year. So we're back to the Ryan Rollins, Kevin Porter Jr. thing. And so this is extremely fantasy relevant, even if it bores the hell out of a lot of other people. What is your read on this? And who can we rely on of these two guys next year in fantasy ball?
I don't know, man. Is Doc Rivers still the coach in Milwaukee? He didn't get fired when I was gone, did he?
He did not. No, yeah, Doc's safe. He's going to begin next season. He may get whacked mid-season next year, but right now he's still the guy.
And he really doesn't want to start Kevin Porter Jr., right? Like last year, he did not want to do that. And I think you and I sort of fell into this trap where, or at least I did. I'm not going to speak for you. I fell into the Ryan Rollins trap where I thought he was going to be the man. And like Ryan Rollins is coming and he's going to blow up. And then Kevin Porter Jr. just never let it happen. And Kevin Porter Jr. he forced Doc Rivers' hand by playing so well for that team. And Doc had really no choice but to play Kevin Porter. I don't think he wanted to, but he sort of had to. So if Kevin Porter Jr. comes in and has a great camp, I mean, Kevin Porter Jr. is talented. He's more talented than a lot of guys in the NBA. He's just never really gotten a full shot to show it. So I still like Kevin Porter Jr. here, but I would be more comfortable if Ryan Rollins was not standing right behind him.
This is tough, man. I'm looking at his game log. Kevin Porter Jr. started one playoff game, the last one, and played okay. Played well in game 4, 23, 5, and 6, 33 minutes off the bench, but they got destroyed. So kind of like Kevin Porter Jr. in a lot of games is a garbage time hero. That was one of those games, but it led to him starting the next game. So he literally started the final game of the Bucs season last year. Ryan Rollins, I'm not looking at the box score, but I have a hard time believing Ryan Rollins started a playoff game. So there's that. But at the end of the regular season, Doc, Kevin Porter Jr. Started, I see 2 games that he started and a bunch of zeros on Basketball Reference. He did not start. So he's a bench player. It's probably a stay away, honestly, Doc. If these guys like go all the way to the end of the draft, I'll take Kevin Porter Jr. over Ryan Rollins. But I fear that Ryan Rollins is going to start, and you know how I do, Doc. It's one of my little rules. Like I F with starters way more than bench players because starters are anchored to more minutes, bro. They just are. It's a more consistent role. But I'm jammed up on this one, dude. I am. It's a stay away from me. I think it's going to be a timeshare. I think it's going to be a buzzkill. And but if you back me up into a wall, put a gun to my dome, I'm taking KPJ.
I am kind of looking at it differently. Like Damian Lillard is gone, never to return to that team. Somebody's going to have to step up and become the starter next year. And it's either going to be Kevin Porter Jr. or it's going to be Ryan Rollins. And I think Kevin Porter Jr. has a much better chance of being successful doing that than Rollins does. So 7th, 8th round gets here, and I need a point guard. I may take Kevin Porter Jr. We'll find out in a couple months, I guess. But
I agree with everything you're saying except the part about the minutes. You're right. There's a gigantic vacancy. There's 25 points, 7 assists, 3.8 threes. There's all of this statistical stuff that needs to be backfilled by these 2 guys. Who's going to do it? How are they going to do it? That's the question. And if it's a timeshare, that's not for me. And I know it's not for Doc either. But Doc is anticipating that one guy's at 30 minutes and one guy's at 18 minutes, or one guy's at 30 minutes and then they overlap a little bit. The other guy's at 24. If that's the case, we'll react to it. I would say right now, Doc, that neither, this is an honest opinion. I don't think either KPJ or Ryan Rollins will average 30 minutes a game next year. I don't. So that's why they're going to have to win me over. Doc's going to have to, in the preseason, show me something, right? Where Doc, you can read rotations in the preseason. You get 3 quarters to do it. They don't play anybody in the 4th quarter. That's like guys trying to make the team, right? But they give you 3 quarters of earnest evaluation where you can see who starts. You can see, all right, when do they pull this guy off? Do they leave the starters on? So is he a timeshare guy, or is he playing all 9 minutes to start the 1st quarter with every other starter on the team? So there's rotational indications, and I'm going to be watching that very closely with these guards. Let's move on. Doc, first 17 trade in NBA history. This is the Kevin Durant trade, and it amoeba'd the entire United States and a quarter of the NBA. 7 teams, Doc. Durant and Capella going to Houston. Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Common Maluach, Daquan Plowden. Say that name fast at all, as many times as you want. He's since been cut, I believe. Rasheer Fleming, Kobe Bray, and a 2nd-round pick. Suns got all that. Hawks get David Roddy, a 2nd-round pick swap and cash. Lakers get Adu Thero. Warriors get Alex Tui and Jemai Mashak. I'm still confused on what team he's on. Is it GSW or Memphis? I'm in a revolving door of I don't really give a shit. The Wolves pick up, I don't even know who he is. The Wolves pick up Rocco Zakarski, 2 2nd-round picks in cash, and the Nets get 2 2nd-round picks, and I have no idea how or why. So there you go, Doc, a 7-team trade. But really, we kind of knew Durant, going to Houston and Green and Brooks going down there to Phoenix. So any comments on that? I feel like it was newsy. We should at least bring it up.
Well, it was supposed to be newsy, but then when Shams broke the whole thing down and you kind of read it line by line like you just did, it's like, oh, there's Durant and there's Capella and there's Jalen Green. And then after that, it just sort of whoosh, like the bottom drops out of it. It's like this other stuff is all garbage that nobody cares about except a guy maybe like Andre who's like so dialed into Europe and some of these names. Like he's probably like, oh yeah, I know that guy. But the average fan is like, wait, this is the trade we're making such a big deal about with all these little weird parts at the end. I don't know. It just seemed like it was kind of overhyped. And I think people on Twitter were like, what, this is what we were so excited about? Oh, the first 7-team trade. So I don't know. I'm more interested in what's going to happen to Bradley Beal than I am that trade.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. It's a good segue. If Bradley Beal agrees to a Suns buyout, according to Mike Scotto, look at Andre. He's correcting me on the pronunciation of Daquan Plowden. This guy. He doesn't miss BITB. That's my new nickname for Andre, dude. BITB. Daquan Plowden. No, it's Plowden. Yeah. Anyway, who cares? Okay, Bradley Beal. Mike Scott is reporting. He's with Hoopside. If Bradley Beal agrees to a Suns buyout, Clippers may have interest, but only have $5.3 million of their non-tax MLE. I had Miami on my Beal list, but not anymore. They don't need Beal, and they got Powell, and they're good. So that won't. Golden State is rumored to have interest in Bradley Beal. Obviously, they're also in concert with Damian Lillard, and he may go out there. Doc, the Milwaukee Bucks were a team that had surfaced as a team that would have interest in Bradley Beal. I wonder, with Ryan Rollins and Kevin Porter Jr. there, if that's still the case. I believe it would still be the case, right? Like you're kind of, what's the word? You're low-doing your point guard position, and we know why, because you're stretching Dame and screwing up your books for all these years. But right now, Taurean Prince is in my starting five for Milwaukee. Beal would look a whole lot better on that depth chart than Taurean Prince in that starting five, right? So Beal to Milwaukee feels like a real possibility to me here.
There are not many times where I'm like, oh, absolutely, I'd rather have Bradley Beal in that starting role than some other guy. This is one of them. I would much rather have Taurean Prince I'd much rather have Bradley Beal and Taurean Prince in my starting lineup, even though I'm an anti-Bradley Beal guy. So yeah, Milwaukee makes sense for him. It actually makes a lot of sense. Really. I think that would be a good spot for Brad Beal to land.
You would have Beal. So you would have, Rollins or Kevin Porter Jr. You would have Beal. You would have Kuzma, Giannis, Miles Turner. That's it. Pretty badass starting five, dude. Pretty badass starting five, especially knowing that Giannis does a ton of ball handling. Beal would do a ton of ball handling, right? It's not like, you need Ja Morant at point guard. You've got some guys that can kind of do some stuff. But Giannis and Beal are going to be so usage rate heavy that the point guard position, you can downgrade it a little bit at that point. And, dude, Kyle Kuzma's a good player. He sucked with Milwaukee last year, but, overall, he's a good player. Miles Turner's a fantastic player. You have Bobby Portis off your bench, Gary Trent off your bench, Taurean Prince off your bench. You'll have one of those 2 point guards off your bench. I'm kind of smelling what Milwaukee's cooking, dude. I'm kind of smelling what they're cooking a little bit. Not to win the East, but to be like a legitimate factor in the East. That they have my full attention here. I just did a quick search here, Doc, on other teams that are interested in Bradley Beal. All right, it's the Bucks, it's the Clippers, although I think after this trade, that's not true anymore. The Heat are on this list. I think after this trade, that's not true anymore. The Lakers, but I just scoff and eye roll at that because every single player that comes up, Will Chamberlain's name comes up. He's been, unfortunately, deceased for 25 years. Lakers interested in signing Will Chamberlain. Dude, he's been dead for 25 years. My God, move on. And so you've got the Nuggets are on here as well. Ooh, the Nuggets and Beal. we got to temper all opinions with the fact that Beal will play only half the season. Okay, so we got to just take a syringe, Doc, and inject that and infuse that into the. He's only going to play half the damn games. But dude, Denver's on this list, and frankly, that's kind of a sexy little merger if Brad Beal decided to go up to Denver.
Yeah, they could just play Cameron Johnson the first half of the season and Beal the second half of the season, and then they'd have one guy that played the whole season.
And they're deep like that. Kevin Love said about the trade, Andre's telling me, BITB's telling me this. Never thought I'd be a math problem. Welcome to the NBA. Again, Kevin Love may just be like, it's been real. He's in the second year. He's on the veteran minimum. He's going to Utah. They're probably going to buy him out. I don't know. He could help a team, at least in that OG role. But so that's what's up with Bradley Beal. We're kind of feeling Bradley Beal to the Bucks. We may get Bradley Beal news. We're live right now, guys. We're also on Tuesday. And so for Tuesday's episode, something may be popping here with Bradley Beal, but we will soon find out. Doc, there's so many juicy, sexy moves to talk about here. All right. And this is one. And when I saw this, I immediately thought of you because this is a guy that we talk about a lot. It's a guy that we have wanted to pop because we know that the pop is there. But Ime Udoka just didn't see it that way last year. Cam Whitmore has been freed to Washington, the land of opportunity. Okay. So it's and a couple of things were reported. The Phoenix Suns elected in that trade we just talked about to take 2 second-round picks as opposed to having Houston put Cam Whitmore in that deal. Okay. Just when I'm kind of like coming around, like you're finally starting to make some good moves. You turned down Cam Whitmore for 2 second-round picks. You're back in the dumbass category. I mean, what are you thinking? Literally, what are you thinking? And so now Washington gets Cam Whitmore for 2 second-round picks. This is one of the best trades I've seen in a long time. It's horrible for Houston. It's incredible for Washington. The question is, Doc, we got to make sense of Washington's rotation because they now are low-key deep. They're generating buzz on Twitter where people are talking about play-in tournament and people are talking about the Wizards maybe making the playoffs, okay? So give me your first impressions on Cam Whitmore going to Washington, then we're going to dig into their depth chart.
Well, I know you're a big Cam Whitmore guy. I'm okay with Cam. I prefer Keyshawn George. Chris Middleton is still standing in the way of these guys. So we got to get him out of the way. For starters, I need Chris Middleton out of the way because Chris Middleton is not going to lead Washington to the playoffs or the play-in or any of that. He's going to be hurt. He's going to be a mess. I want Whitmore and Keyshawn to play. So get Middleton out of the way. And like you said, they've got too many guys that need minutes. Like Corey Kispert is way down the depth chart now. And Keyshawn and Cam and Marcus Smart still is there. Why, I don't really know, but he is. And Kelly Olynyk and Vooks. So there's lots of stuff. Justin Champagnie. I don't know, man. This should be a good move for Cam Whitmore to free Cam Whitmore, but is it going to happen, or are Middleton and Keyshawn going to shut that down?
All right, let's go into the depth chart, Doc. Where is Washington? Oh, I got it right here in my rundown. Okay, starting 5. Tell me if I'm wrong about this. Alex Sarr, of course. Bilal Coulibaly, he's 6'8". He'll be an undersized 4. They don't really have a 4 on this roster. They have 5s. They have 3s. They have 3s that are going to play the 4. Does that make sense? That's what they're doing. I mean, think about like Coulibaly, Keyshawn George, Kispert, Middleton, McCollum, Whitmore, Champagnie. Where's the 4? They don't have one. And then you got Sarr, Olynyk, and Holmes at your center spots. They don't have a 4. So anyway, starting 5, Alex Sarr, Bilal Coulibaly, Chris Middleton, CJ McCollum, and Bob Carrington. Okay. You say, why Middleton in the starting 5? Okay. All we have to go on is what we've seen Middleton opts into his deal. Washington probably would have rather he did not, but he did. Last year, they started Chris Middleton to the chagrin of me and Dr. A. So they started him last year. Now, apparently, they're going to try to maybe low-key win a little bit. Why wouldn't you start Middleton now? He's a veteran. He's got a really good resume. So I think Middleton's going to start, and especially because you just traded for C.J. McCollum. Okay? You've got vets on your team now. Okay, so why wouldn't he start? And I still do appreciate Middleton. I do. But he's not going to get the minutes, I think. He'll be like 27, 26 minutes because they're going to play a two-unit thing there. Bub Carrington stays at the 1, Doc, although he'll be pinched significantly by Marcus Smart. So your second unit is Kelly Olynyk, Keyshawn George, Corey Kispert, Cam Whitmore, and Marcus Smart. So it's the land of opportunity. But who is going to fantasy spike out of this group? To me, it's going to be McCollum and Sarr. And that's it. Do you see, I mean, because all these other guys are going to play. Keyshawn George is going to play minutes. Kispert's going to play minutes. Whitmore's going to play minutes. Smart's going to play minutes. And they're going to eat at the starters here. McCollum and Sarr are the only guys I'm looking at without like gravity and without like buzz kills. All these other guys, I think they're going to be in timeshares and in minutes crunch in a numbers game. How are you breaking it down?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty close. Bub Carrington, I mean, we just hardly saw Marcus Smart at all last year. I don't know that Marcus Smart is going to really ruin what Bub Carrington's trying to do. I mean, Smart's going to be 32 in March. The thing about Middleton is he's going to turn 34 in a month. And I'll get the birthday hat out and the party pipe and all that, and we'll have a little celebration. But he's going to be 34 years old. If I'm Washington, I just don't need a 34-year-old man on one leg out there with all these mostly kids. And maybe they do want him out there for the stability that he'll offer. But, you know, he just hardly could even run the court last year. So I just want Middleton to go away and let the other kids play. But, yeah, I mean, McCollum should be pretty reliable. Alex Sarr, I'm super excited about for this coming season. Easily the most exciting player Washington has at this point. So outside of that, I think you're just wishing upon a star with every other pick you make, and it's going to be very hard for that guy to get enough minutes to do anything.
Give me one sleeper outside of McCollum and Sarr. Give me one guy that you would take. Wide open canvas, you're drafting. Forget about, like, just right now you're on the clock. You got to take one other Washington Wizard, not McCollum and Sarr. Who are you taking?
It would be Bub, and if it wasn't Bub, it would be Keyshawn. Like, Keyshawn and Bub, to me, are the two most exciting other Wizards.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Well,
I love that answer.
Koulibaly, I don't know.
For me, it's Koulibaly would be that guy. Bub would be on the fringe of that, right? Because I like the stuff you said about Bub. If Bub can get to 30 minutes a game and Smart's playing 18, 20, 22, whatever that looks like, then Bub's going to be a guy. I'm worried that Bub's going to play 27, 28 minutes a game. And it's going to be 10, 3, and 5. I'm just worried. You know, he's a good PRA guy, but at 26 minutes, we're getting 10, 3, and 5. We're getting Davion Mitchell last year with Miami, right before he kind of popped. And I ain't rocking with that. Kind of maybe even like a little maybe even below like what a D'Lo's doing. D'Lo's like gone down to like a 12.5 assist player. Like, can Bub even get to that? I have questions that he can't. Doc, we have a mini controversy on our hands. I'm happy to report, not with this show. We don't do drama. We don't do buzzkills. It's a love fest over here on the Fantasy NBA today. Rick Kamla, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, soon to be Hall of Famer Andre Lemouche. So the controversy is, Doc, the Nuggets and Jonas Valanciunas. Okay, Jonas traded from Sac to Denver. I think we now know why Sacramento wanted to get off of Jonas. It's because they feared him going overseas to play with, where's the club? Panathinaikos, which is one of the perennial historical badass teams in Europe. They wear a dope green uniform. They have a very, very, very feisty crowd, and they win a lot. And so they want Jonas Valanciunas. The Nuggets have said, yep, we're going to go through with the trade because they had an opportunity, unless Andre's going to tell me differently, but my reading on this, they had an opportunity to back out because of this. And, there's like the period where you agree to stuff and then you ratify the stuff, right? There's like that weak little moratorium period. I believe they had the ability to wiggle out of this. They did not. And they are insisting that Jonas Valanciunas honor his contract. This, according to Shams Charania. Valanciunas traveled to Greece and wants to be released from his NBA contract. But the Nuggets are saying no right now. If the Nuggets lose Valanciunas, they will gain access to their full mid-level exception. Al Horford and his free agent thing is jammed up because of this. And if Valanciunas goes to Greece, Horford may go to Denver. And if Valanciunas stays in Denver, Horford may then sit down in Golden State. So, dude, there's a ton of ripple effects of this. How do you make sense of it?
I don't know. I mean, can they make Jonas Valanciunas come back and play in Denver? I mean, he's already in Greece. I don't see him getting on a plane and flying to Denver anytime soon. I'm actually surprised Ace Bailey made it to Utah when he was supposed to. That was wild. But I mean, I just can't see Valanciunas coming back. I'd rather have Horford than Valanciunas at this point, I think. I've also I've heard Horford might end up in Indiana, but I don't know. I just don't know enough about the legalese and the legalities and the lawyers to know whether Jonas is going to show up in Denver or not. Just because Denver's like, yo, you got to come honor your contract doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to do it.
So Andre's got some good intel here. By the way, I just saw that Zaxby's has chicken quesadillas. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, I've been killing.
Have you had one?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The Zaxby's chicken quesadilla. You've had those?
I've had both. There's two kinds. There's bacon ranch deal, and there's a Fiesta. I don't know, Southwestern deal with salsa in it.
And they're both nailed?
They're both good. They could use. I wish they had just the white queso kind of in there, like you get at Moe's. There's no queso. There's plenty of cheese, but there's no queso. But they're pretty good, dude. By the way, Soren and I made a special trip to Cane's in your honor, and that chicken was fantastic.
Bro.
Raising Cane's.
Bro, you got the sauce too, right? You got the little cane sauce?
The cane sauce, they don't have all the hot sauces options like the tongue.
No, they just got the savory cane sauce, man.
But Zaxby's has all the hot sauce, which I prefer. But
me too.
The chicken finger at Cane's was beautiful. It was delicious. It was awesome.
So, like, people, hey, I saw like Al Horford working at a Cane's and all this kind of stuff. Guys, Cane's is the dope shit. I'm telling you right now. It's really, really good. All right, back to our story here. Andre says if they, being Denver, doesn't agree to a buyout, Valanciunas won't get FIBA clearance and would be hard for him to play for Panathinaikos this season. So I didn't know that. Thank you, Andre. So, boy, this is tough. The ball's in Denver's court here. Valanciunas kind of has to do what Denver wants him to do. Valanciunas has got to go back to Denver and be the backup to Jokic here because you don't gain FIBA clearance, then you don't play this year. What are you going to take your ball and go home and not play ball? So maybe he didn't think this all the way through here, right? Like, because I didn't know that. But if Valanciunas is under contract with the NBA, by the way, Doc, for 2 more years. For 2 more years, 2 years and $20 million is left on Valanciunas' contract. He signed a 3 and 30 last year with Washington. I'm like, why? Why did Washington sign Valanciunas to 3 and 30? So he's got 2 years left at $10 million per. That's very well paid for a backup in the NBA. Andre saying, according to reports from Greece, Jonas Valanciunas' agent notified Panathinaikos that he wanted to leave the NBA, but never communicated that same desire with the Nuggets. Denver was furious over the lack of communication, but Valanciunas still wants to leave for Europe. So, like I said, they didn't think this all the way through. How can Valanciunas' agent not know that you can't just leave? That's insane, dude. You got to fire that agent. Dude, it's okay for me to not know all the intricacies, right, of an NBA buyout going to Panathinaikos. I don't need to know that. That mofo needs to know that. Dude, he has just hung Valanciunas out to dry, bro. I feel bad for Jonas right now. Wants to play in Greece, can't play in Greece. Agent's an asshat loser. Come back to the NBA, bro. Come back to the NBA. Dude, our clubs are fantastic, okay? Right? The Unsi on the road. Dude, get your thing in here. 2 more years. By the way, Valanciunas' first year, remember, after being drafted, he was overseas. So he's done this. He's done this to the NBA before. Remember, he made Toronto wait a year. Shit, Rubio made Minnesota wait 2 years before he came over. Shout out to Ricky Rubio, by the way. I'm a big fan. You were a fan of Rubio, right?
Yeah, I liked him.
I like Rubio. You know who else I miss, dude? I miss Rondo. I miss Rajon Rondo in our league, dude. What a G. I love this stat line too, man. Rondo was a goody guy, bro. Okay, back to our rundown here. I mean, this is okay, we got to kind of fast track through some of this stuff. I'm not going to go. Oh, you mentioned Jay Huff. All right, we got to get to this. Andre said he thinks Isaiah Jackson starts for Indiana. I respectfully disagree with that. Rick Carlisle doesn't like Isaiah Jackson. He never has. He never will. The kid's coming off Achilles right now. The kid's a restricted free agent. I don't even know if he's necessarily going to be back. I presume he will. I think Jay Huff is the new starting center for the Indiana Pacers. Doc, do you agree?
He might be, man. Brewski loved Jay Huff coming into last year, and he stuck with him all year. And he's like, Jay Huff this and Jay Huff that. Every time I see Jay Huff, all I can see is a big old bald head, and it's the big lanky guy out there clanking around. But Jay Huff can pass, Jay Huff can shoot, Jay Huff can rebound. Like I'm actually, when I saw Jay Huff was going to the Pacers, I got kind of excited.
Let me go to his per 36. He's a guy, I don't usually do the per 36. It's not my favorite stat. But when a guy plays 11.7 minutes a game, like Huff did last year, that's when the per 36, because I can't do the computation on that. He played 11.7. All right, let's let the per 36 tell the story. Per 36, what Jay Huff did in a very, very small sample size last year, per 36, Doc, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2.7 blocks. 2.7 blocks.
Wow.
Okay. Even if this is 36, even if Huff's at 30, that's 2 blocks a game. Okay. 3.93. Oh my God. Somebody put out a tweet or some shit about, dude, this is incredible. 3.93s a game for Jay Huff. Again, per 36.
Those per 36 numbers are the reason Brewski was so fired up about Jay Huff last year. Like, it's exactly because the fantasy skill set is there. And not everybody is going to be on to the Jay Huff potential this year. To me, he's a super sleeper, man. He really is.
I agree. Dude, here's my thing with Jay Huff. Jay Huff may only play 24, 26, right? He may only play like mid-20s. Dude, if we get Jay Huff to mid-20s, he's what? Probably 1.9 blocks, 2.1 threes. Like, even if he's playing half the game, I think he's going to hover around 2 blocks and 2 threes per game. And you may get more than that. Isaiah, dude, back to the Carlisle Isaiah Jackson thing. Doc, how many times have we tried to get fired up about Isaiah Jackson over the last 4 years? And you'll have an injury, and Miles Turner will be out, and this guy. It's Isaiah Jackson season. Oh my God, we're going to start getting the double-doubles with the blocks and all that. And it never, ever materializes. A, because Jackson's foul-prone and inconsistent, and C, because of that, Rick Carlisle does not like this guy.
Yeah. And who's the other guy? Jalen Smith?
Tony Bradley.
Went to Chicago, like
Tony
he was
Bradley's
always supposed to be good for Carlisle, and that never happened. So Jalen Smith. Yeah. But then Tony Bradley is not. not going to make a huge impact here.
He's
I
a
don't
third
think
string guy.
they
Happen
don't
to
want
be in the league.
They don't want Pascal Siakam playing minutes at center if they don't need him to. So I think this Jay Huff thing is like, I'm pretty excited about it. And it's funny that I'm excited about it because I used to make fun of Brewski for it all last year. But
who are you drafting, Brook Lopez or Jay Huff?
Oh, I think I'm drafting Jay Huff, man.
Bingo. Ding, 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 ding. Tell him what he's won. Johnny, tell him what he's won. Andre, tell him what he's won. You know, I love me some Brolo, dude, but Jay Huff's got upside, man. Think about this too, dude. Indiana immediately pivoted. Like, it was almost like they kind of had it planned. Like, we're going to let Turner go. We're going to pounce on Jay Huff, who's got a very similar skill set to Miles Turner. All right, let me fast track Doc through. Does any of this news have we talked? I think the last thing we'll get to here, Doc, is Deandre Ayton. Because you were on vacation. We haven't talked about Deandre Ayton to the Lakers yet, have we?
No.
Okay. So talk to me. How does that news hit you? 2 years, $16 million, $8 million per for the chronic underachiever, Deandre Ayton. What's your nickname for Ayton again?
Oh, I don't think I have one.
Wasn't it Thunderstorm or Blizzard? It was something.
Like just as long as it's not snowing outside, maybe he can show up to the game. I don't know.
Fair weather Ayton? Is that where he's
Blizzard
fair
boy?
weather Ayton?
I don't know.
Weather boy.
I know. Man, him signing with the Lakers was like that was the move you could see coming from a mile away, right? Like it just felt like it was happening. So, you know, good luck, Lakers, with your boy Deandre Ayton. Maybe this will be the wake up call he needs. Maybe he's like, oh, I'm going to go play with LeBron and Luka. I better start balling out. Maybe it works. I don't know. I'm not probably drafting Deandre Ayton. Okay,
that was going to be my question. I mean, I won't eat, dude. It's almost like, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not a wishy-washy flip-flopper. So I can't bang on Deandre Ayton like I bang on Deandre Ayton and then like through the back door draft him. Like I almost can't do that. He would have to fall significantly for me to take him. And look, it's games played. It's motor. It's lack of blocks and lack of threes, bro. He's not a fantasy gold guy. He's a terrible fantasy gold guy. That's why it's a variety of reasons. Okay, guys, quick reminder, if you're watching out there on X and Twitter, if you're doing so, thank you. Please subscribe to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast so you don't miss any of the episodes, because not every one of our episodes is available on Twitter, but they all are on the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed, Apple, Spotify, all the regular joints, YouTube. Check us out over there. I want to shout out Tim from the Sports Ethos Atlanta Hawks podcast. Tim, what's up, bro? We really appreciate you watching and listening. Shout out to Tiago Valente and everybody watching live, man. We love you guys. Just want to take this moment to encourage you to download our app. It's completely free, the Sports Ethos app. Go to your favorite app store and do it now. And go to sportsethos.com. My writing is out there. Doc's writing is out there. The B150 will be out there soon. Okay, all of our great work and all of these sports is out there. It's low dose. Subscribe, and you will be very, very happy. Couple of notes here. On Tuesday's episode, we're going to start getting into head-to-head player battles, and sparks are going to fly. Bloodshed may ensue. So you guys are really going to want to check that out. That's in Tuesday's episode. And then Wednesday, we're going to be joined by William Harris, a draft expert, talking Summer League draft rookies and all that stuff. And then on Friday, we're going to be joined by Mark Camaro. He's our NBA Dynasty expert. And so we'll hang out with him on Friday. So full week of hot stuff coming up. Really appreciate you guys watching us here. Again, Tuesday, it's going to be player battles like Wemby versus Jokic, SGA versus Luka, cool stuff like that. You guys are going to love it, and we will see you then. Big thanks to Andre Lemouche, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, and I'm Rick Kamla. This episode's been brought to you by Bet Online.